And welcome back. The U.S. military struck another alleged drug vessel in the Pacific Ocean yesterday, killing 4 people. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth posted footage of the strike on social media last night. This marks the 12th time in less than 2 months the U.S. military has carried out strikes on boats suspected of trafficking narcotics. At least 15 vessels have been struck and 61 people have been killed. Florida Republican Congresswoman María Salazar joins us now. And of course, she is a member of the House Foreign Relations Committee. Congresswoman, thank you so much for being here. I'm wondering how you feel about these strikes.
And I represent hundreds of thousands of Venezuelans at the same time.
Absolutely. And I wanted to mention that in a moment. But given that context, how do you feel about the Trump administration carrying out these strikes without congressional oversight? Do you think that's an overreach?
Well, it was about time. The American audience needs to understand, and I'm the chairman of the Western Hemisphere subcommittee within the House Foreign Affairs Committee, so I know that area very well. And we need to remember 3 things that are very important. Number 1, Maduro is not the legitimate president of the country of Venezuela, number 1. He stole the presidential elections after he signed an agreement with the United States, with the Biden administration, that he was going to go if he lost the presidential election. Not only that, he was indicted in 2020 by a federal grand jury in this country that he was one of the heads, he was the head of one of the most important transnational criminal organizations pushing drugs into our streets. And on top of that, he is the head of that drug cartel called the Sons Cartel. The Trump administration is saying no more. Either you stop your activity and you leave, or we're going to take you out. What's wrong with that?
But should Congress be alerted to this fact or given the intel that they had to carry out these strikes? Are you okay with that part of it? Don't you think Congress should be let in on this?
I am okay because the Trump administration has declared that we are not invading a country. We are taking out an illegitimate person who is sitting at the presidential palace because he stole the elections by force. And on top of that, he is the head of a transnational criminal organization, a drug cartel that is pushing drugs into our territory. And it is a platform or a launching pad for Colombia to send drugs to Venezuela and then from Venezuela to Mexico and to the United States. What Trump is doing is what we should have done decades ago. Other presidents should have sent the same message. Trump is sending the message to Maduro, we can negotiate your way out. But he is not paying attention because the problem is that for the last 40 years, since Ronald Reagan during the Sandinistas, the bad hombres, the thugs in Latin America have not paid attention or respect the United States. So this is the first time when if you do not respect me and go the right way, then we're going to take you the wrong way. So I'm okay with it.
And just quickly, you mentioned that you have a significant presence of Venezuelan Americans in your district in South Florida. Tell me how that is informing your perspective here.
Well, the Venezuelan Americans, no one wants to leave their country. We're talking about the country with the largest reserves of oil in the world, more than Saudi Arabia. We're talking about that the Venezuelans were very rich people because they lived in a very rich country with oil and minerals and rare minerals and water and wood, and they had everything. And on top of that, they were one of the most prosperous countries and a very close ally of the United States up until 25 years ago, when Marxism and socialism invaded that country. Right now, the average Venezuelan weighs 15 pounds less because of lack of food. Most of the people, you had 8 million Venezuelans having to leave, and many of them are in South Florida, and they have voted for me, and I'm representing them. So they're okay with the fact that the thug called Maduro needs to go, and they applaud, and they are highly grateful to this administration for doing that. For any administration who would have done it, they would be grateful for. But Trump had the fortitude, had the strength, had whatever you want to call it, to do the right thing. What Trump is doing is the right thing to do, and then say to the opposition who won the presidential elections last year, Maria Corina Machado, then here's your country, now you take care of it. And we definitely want to be part of that reconstruction because the American oil companies will be very helpful. Will be a mutual agreement between the oil companies and Venezuela for them to pay for their own reconstruction. It's not going to cost us one penny.
And Congresswoman, you are in your district right now. You're not in Washington. House Speaker Mike Johnson has kept you all home in your districts for the past 6 weeks. I'm wondering, do you agree with that strategy? I ask because we did have one of your colleagues, Kevin Kiley, on yesterday, and he says that the House should return to work and perhaps, work on other things. Is there more you guys could be doing here in Washington? Understanding, of course, the argument that you've already voted on the CR. Put that aside, should you be back here in Washington working on everything else?
I was laughing because if we were to be in Washington, what we should be doing is knocking on the door, like cross the aisle to the Senate and then just stake out those 4 senators, that Democratic senators who have not wanted to vote for the CR, and tell them, hey, we did our job. Look, we're here. We want to go back to work. Please open up the office again. But once again, put it in talking points in simple terms. The American people need to know that we, the House, 6 weeks ago, we did our job in voting for the CR in order to have a little bit more time, like 7 more weeks, so we could keep on working and negotiating Obamacare extension, subsidies, negotiating whatever we needed to, because we do want to pass a new budget, a Republican budget. But then that got stuck because the Senate is not doing this. You have explained it many times, but people need to understand.
Right.
We should not be having this issue. We should be all sitting at the table, negotiating.
Right. But should you guys be here in Washington to do exactly what you were describing, or get to work on appropriations and other things that the House needs to work on? Should you be out of session for 6 weeks?
But the thing is that we may be in the House, but then we know that there are so many thousands of government and federal employees that are not getting paid. So we need to focus on what is of most importance, of what's time sensitive. Keep the government open, pay the air traffic controllers so we do not get delayed flights, pay the military members, pay everybody that works in the government at the federal level, and then continue working. The problem here is that we got to stop the politics. We have to stop what's happening. Because the only thing we, GOP, were asking the Dems is give me 7 more weeks, give me a little bit more time, specifically when it comes to Obamacare, that we needed to renegotiate those extended 1-year subsidies. And I'm the first one who would agree to look at it for 1 more year. I have 20% of my district needs food stamps or SNAP. My elderly, the most senior part of the society. We need to feed them. We need to give them the possibility of continue eating every day. 20%. I'm one of probably I think I'm the 5th most important district when it comes to SNAP and to Obamacare, 1/3. So I'm very conscious. But there's nothing you can do if you don't have the other side that is in government with us, that is legislating with the GOP. If they don't want to play, if they don't want to play this game, the American game. I'm very upset with what's really happening because you putting politics over what's needed for the rest of the American people.
And as we've been reporting on Saturday, those SNAP benefits will lapse for the first time in history. Congresswoman Salazar, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it.
My pleasure to be always with you.